Michael, and I'm with Sektor. Say hello, guys.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
And we're in St. Louis, and we're happy to see them because St. Louis gets nothing. You guys put quite some time in preparing for this tour, so how's it been going so far?
It's been good. Most of the shows, we have a good handful of people who know who we are, and they know the songs. I'll see some people singing along and stuff like that, and getting to talk to a lot of people after the shows who know about us has been great. The shows have been good. Some of them have been bigger than others, but it's playing all these shows has definitely tightened us up as a band, so it's been a really good thing. And just meeting all the different people and getting to network too, and get established for shows in the future. And but yeah, it's been good. We have a few more to do, but it's been really good so far.
So you've noticed that maybe your fan base on Facebook or something like that has grown from your touring?
Oh yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah, because the first time Sektor played West Palm Beach, there was maybe 20 people there.
Yeah, so.
And this time there was 100 people there, just about.
Awesome.
So yeah, so we feel like that shows that we've been able to grow the band
And impress some people.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you found that mixing a live sound is a little easier with the vocals that are on this new CD, Applied Structure and Avoid?
Well, when Scott started writing the music for Applied Structure and Avoid, he was writing it to play live. And especially, he plays drums live, and he was writing it so he could really work out the drums live. The stuff I ended up coming up with for the vocals, kind of layered and complex in areas, so Daniel does backing vocals and covers a lot of the stuff that I can't do in one shot. And to be honest, it's probably a little bit more difficult because there's a lot more dynamics rather than just turning on the pitch shifter and screaming through the whole thing. And we still have a few songs that do that, but it requires a little bit more.
We got to plan it out.
Yeah, and because of that, we rehearse like crazy.
Right.
I mean, 3 times a week for several months. Worked out all the backing parts.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. I just assumed that you would have problems with feedback or something when you're doing those crazy effects on the vocals.
Not particularly, no. It's actually been pretty awesome sounding every time we play a show.
Yeah, there has been a few feedback issues for me. It's mainly the equipment I'm using, but what I'm actually running live is just a little bit of delay on my pedal, and then I have a pitch shifting unit that I'll turn on sometimes, and that it's not really a feedback type of cognitive effect. We don't use any distortion at all. The pitch shifting distorts the voice enough with the natural vocals to make it sound
I've read that you mentioned previously that you want to make music that you're listening to. Is there any particular artist that you can point your fans to in anticipation of your third release so they can better embrace and be more open to many possible new directions?
Well, Scott.
Yeah, we've definitely taken our next album is definitely in a little bit different direction than Applied Structure and Avoid. But I guess one of the main influences for our newer stuff is going to be I've been listening to a lot of dubstep and stuff like that lately, so I'm kind of throwing a little bit of that in there every now and then.
Not too much.
Not too much. Just
Yeah, I
enough.
don't think you can.
Yeah, just enough.
Yeah, just drawing a little bit of influence from that. I know Scott listens to Skrillex.
Oh yeah.
And some artists like that. Vocally for the third album, I pretty much am influenced by the same people I always have been. A big one for me is Raymond Watts from Pig and KMFDM. Not so much vocally, but definitely drawing influence from this band.
Yeah, we really like this man as also making album else.
Yeah, and we're really big on Post Neutral, our second album. Just all the dynamics on it and stuff. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's one of those albums that takes a while to get into. But yeah, lyrically, it's kind of just, I guess, a new thing to do it. And a lot of stuff is just new stuff that we're trying out.
So you're not going to be growling like Raymond Watts or any odd.
If I had that deep baritone voice, I would, but from what you can hear on the albums, when I scream, it gets kind of high pitched. So, I mean, you could almost say it sounds a little Cyclone 9-ish or something like that, but it's not really an influence on my part. But I like that heavy aspect, that kind of pissy high pitch. That's just what comes
That
out.
almost too high pitch.
I mean, I don't, like, some of those bands, they use a pitch shifting unit to really raise their voice high. I keep mine kind of low and just naturally try to get high.
Naturally try to get high, that's what we all do. Don't do drugs, kids. Your name is usually seen paired up as a remix for well-known artists like Grendel, Alien Vampires, Dawn of Ashes, but you've also done some great remixes from lesser-known artists such as Distorted Memory and the absolute best remix from DYM's newest album, The Swarm, of Autonomy of the Will. And earlier this year, you stated that you were on a self-imposed remix freeze. Are you out of this freeze? And if so, are there any artists that you would like to remix that maybe are more in line with the direction that you're kind of headed?
As far as remixing goes, I enjoy remixing. So anyone who, like, I don't put any limitations on who I remix. It basically, whoever kind of comes to us and it's the right time, we're like, yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of our time to experiment a little bit and just kind of show people what we can do.
Right.
We did do Freeze just because we needed to get work done on our album.
And also the shows and stuff kind of took away from us wanting to work on music and just kind of get our live show sounding the way we wanted it to sound.
Right.
Yeah, we did have to turn down a couple bands we actually like because we just didn't have time.
Well, you guys had just come out with the Applied Structure, right? So
Yeah.
It
It was wild. We did like,
Ton
I think
of
10 remixes within like 3 or 4 months.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we're just kind of like,
Yeah,
whoa.
let's-
But I mean, there are artists we'd love to remix, but most of them are ones that we could not get in touch with. Like, we'd love to do a remix for Emily Autumn if she ever hears this. Or but that's like, we were talking about that on the way here, actually. Like, we'd love to do some music for her, but, you know, really big band. There's some big bands we'd like to remix us, like Skrillex and stuff like that, but, you know.
Right. Yeah, I actually like the idea of, you know, complete different genre type of remixes, you know, those are always fun. Like kind of off the subject of Dissector, but on the new God Module Ritual single, they had a remix from a dubstep band, White Ring, or semi-dubstep.
Very cool.
You know, it was really good, so.
Yeah, I agree with that. It'd be nice to get like just some odd artists to remix us and do the same thing for them.
All right. When you move away from a genre-specific sound like you did on Applied Structure and avoid possible song structures grow, I could imagine. I would also imagine how free you must feel when song ideas come about, but does this make editing decisions more difficult, assuming you don't want to change your sound completely, like Dawn of Ashes?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of mixing challenges on this album. That's why we actually brought this guy in, Daniel, because he is the best mixer that I've ever met, best audio engineer. And him and I had to sit down, and Edward had to sit down for each song and just, you know, spend weeks trying to get it the right sound and like trying to figure out how to put the new sounds into it to make it sound not abrasive and make it all cohesive.
And yeah, I mean, we don't want to. There are times where we don't want to necessarily stray too far.
Yeah.
Industrial. And,
But like you said, dubstep.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, innovation is definitely an interesting thing, but you know, there's also, I think, a genius in crafting a well-known sound too.
Sure.
So you kind of have to, you do have to edit yourself in slight ways like that.
Back in July, you announced via Facebook that the plans to release an EP had been scratched and that you are looking to put another full-length album out by early 2012. Did the scratched EP evolve into being the full-length album?
Yeah.
Yeah, we pretty much just kept writing songs, and we're going to cut a few, and then we're like, man, all these are just kind of, they're all kind of fitting together, so we'll have like 8 songs, so might as well just make 3 more.
Yeah, I mean, by the time it was time to mix the EP, we had way too many songs. And we talked to Jamie at Death Watch Asia and kind of tested the waters of us putting out a new release so soon, and it's something with only a few songs on it. And he kind of said he talked some sense into us and said that it might be best just to do a few more songs and do a full-length album. And, he said it's a lot easier to do that than release an EP with a couple songs and promote that and then another full-length. So, yeah, it just evolved into it.
So it's a long period of time probably where all these songs were made, so it should be quite a lot of songs. Just your average amount.
About 11 songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. After the release of the new album, are you still planning on re-releasing Scraping Flesh?
Yes, we would like to do that. Yeah, just we still have all those old audio files, so Dan and I are actually going through and kind of doing a little mixing on them just to get them sounding just a little just improve the sound quality a little bit. We'll probably release that free online or something like that.
Awesome.
Hopefully before the actual next album comes out. That's what you're planning on.
That would be good promo.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to give it out free, you might as well do it before that.
Yeah. Maybe a few unreleased tracks too. We're not sure yet.
All right. On COMA Music Magazine's Digital Glitch interview you did last month, you said that you were trying to contact DYM about possibly hooking up with them on their new tour, but it was too soon to give that information out. Is there any news you can share with us on that topic?
Well, what I actually said was that back when, I think before our last album came out, we were talking to them in Distorted Memory about doing a show in Canada. And there was some conflicting time schedule stuff with them, but we really wanted to do it. And we haven't really talked about playing shows together since then, but they are now going on tour themselves, parts of the U.S. and Mexico. So we're not involved in that in any way. I mean, it would be awesome if we were, but we're over here on the East Coast doing stuff. So eventually down the line, hopefully we'll cross paths. And they'd be a great band to tour with. I think they fit us, complement us really well. So.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy both of them. There are a couple of great new acts coming out of Canada.
Absolutely.
Last question. St. Louis is obviously a much smaller city than Atlanta, where you're from, and from what I understand, the industrial scene is kind of come and go. From your experience, do you have any advice for promoters or fans in smaller cities to get people off of their lazy asses and enjoy and support the scene?
That's a tough one. I mean, promoter-wise, they know what they have to do. It's an issue of not losing money on a show because you can't really tell how many people are going to come out. But for promoters in a town and they really work and establish and maybe throw industrial nights and things like that and cultivate kind of a crowd that follows all their events and then start bringing in shows, would seem the way to go. Seems most of the promoters that do it that way are pretty successful. But I don't know. I think it's just, there's not enough money in it. It's just not working sometimes. As much as the 10 people in that town want to see them.
Right.
So, man, let's go.
I guess we're getting the high side.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks a lot for the interview, guys.
Thank you.
I look forward to the show tonight.